to Hobby Evolution. Friday means we're dressed down Friday, hoodie Friday, hat Friday. Wanted to get a haircut yesterday, get me a fresh cut before I leave for spring training. And there was such a long line at Great Clips. Do the online check-in. It's like 125 minutes. List is full. Check back later. This was at like 3 o'clock yesterday. So I'm like, well, not getting a haircut today. I looked at other Great Clips locations. I'm a Great Clips guy. We also have like Sport Clips is the other one. And I'm sure there's a lot of other ones. But I'm a creature of habit. And I drive out of my way to get my haircut because I'm stubborn. I'm a stubborn creature of habit. Speaking of haircuts, when I first moved to Macomb, speaking of hair, Macomb, when I moved to Macomb, I had a barber, my barber from like in my hometown. And I'd been going to my barber for 10 years. And now all of a sudden it's like, I don't know how to like schedule an appointment. Who do I go to? Like all of this. And Macomb's like a fairly decent sized city. I mean, compared to my hometown of 800, there were stoplights in Macomb. We had the Walmarts in Macomb and plenty of people to cut your hair. The first few months, like the first time I let it, like my hair grow out, because I didn't know how to get a haircut. And then I started, I would drive an hour and 40 minutes just to get my damn haircut. And then finally I wisened up, but it's kind of stupid to drive almost 2 hours for a damn haircut from a barber. So then I found a local hair cutter. And here I am today being stubborn. But I'll look a little earlier today and Friday. I'm sure Friday's probably a busier day for like getting haircuts than Thursday. So hopefully can get my rag top shaved, my mop of hair shaved off before I head out to Arizona. What else is going on? Let's go to the chat before I get way, way, way behind. Jenny's here this week. Did go really fast, didn't it? It did. Terry, both Terrys are here. Terry A, Terry M, what's up? Good morning, Ed. What's happening? Happy Friday. Flying Illini. Hey, I caught some of the Illini game last night I was watching. Finally catching one of these live. They say, thank you for dropping in. I watched the Illini game last night. They played the Victor's Michigan Wolverines. Good game. And I turned it off after regulation. I didn't even watch the overtimes. I was done. I had it on as background. I'm like, ooh, Illinois, Michigan. I want to watch this. I had it. It was good background. And then all of a sudden I was like doing other things and it's, under a minute. And it's like, oh, both teams were going on runs. Like Illinois had like a 10-0 run. And then Michigan came back with like a 12-0 run. Then it was a tie game. And I think both teams had a possession at the end of regulation and neither team made a shot. So it went to overtime. Then I think it went to double overtime and the Illini won the game. I really don't have a rooting interest. Juwan Howard annoys me based on what he did at Wisconsin last year with just being a dick, going through the handshake line. But I love the Fab Five. His kid, Jet Howard's really fun to watch. Like, I like watching the Wolverines. And the Illini, I grew up hating the Illini because I grew up an Iowa Hawkeyes fan. But now it's hard to hate the Illini because Brad Underwood's such a good guy. He was at my alma mater in Macomb. A lot of Macomb references today. Brad Underwood was an assistant under drawing a blank. How in the hell can I draw a blank? Jim Kerwin. He was an assistant under Jim Kerwin for like 10, 12 years in Macomb for the Leathernecks. Now he's at Illinois. So good guy, like Brad Underwood. Matt, Royals 417 in the house. I want to turn back around and talk a little more college basketball, though, here in a second. Royals 417, Matt in the house. What's up? Card hobbyist, little coffee. Take a swig. Raphael, what's up? What's happening? Landon Duke, what's up? First time commenting, just found you last week. Good morning from the ATL. What's up, Landon? Thanks for finding me. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate that. Red Light 34 in the house. We've got Herman here. Mark, Kyle, what's happening? Uncle Rich won a raffle at Sport Clips last year and have free haircuts for 2023 on a once-a-month ratio. Hey, how about that? I did go to a sport clip. Remember coming out of the pandemic? Oh my God. We all had like poofy hair out to here. We could finally get haircuts again. At least here in my area. And like they were all booked. Like, I mean, it was so hard to get an appointment, even at like Great Clips, Sport Clips, like those types of places where it's basically you just walk in anytime you want. It was so hard to get one, and I had to end up going to Sport Clips, and you know how I am. I stick to my Great Clips, but I did do Sport Clips one time because it was so hard to get in anywhere else. Steve Ains Comedy, what's up? Good morning to you. We've got Boston Smoke in the house. Where we at? Mark says I have nothing to say concerning haircuts. Christian says, good morning. Got to the office today only to find out that it was being closed when I pulled in. Bad weather coming. Had to turn around and go all the way home. That's like the good and the bad. It's great because, hey, I don't have to go to work. But then it's like, damn, I could have slept in. I drove all the way here, got ready. Now here I am, and now I have to go. So I get it. It's like, yes. Oh man, I could have. What could have been? An extra hour of sleep would have been nice. Red Light 34 says hello. Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? Flying Illini says Illinois is a team where no lead is safe in either direction. And kind of on a similar front, Wisconsin, the Badgers, they just suck. Oh my God. They're probably going to miss the tournament, NCAAs. And it's like, and I wouldn't say no lead. It's not with Wisconsin, no lead is safe. It's just Wisconsin really plays to their, and actually it's not even that. They're just bad this year. They don't even play to their competition. Typically, the last couple of years, you know, if it's a big rivalry game or a top 25 team, they'll play really well, probably pull out a win. But if it's against like Rutgers or I think Northwestern's really good this year. But if it's against like Penn State's not good, I assume. They're never good at basketball. And then it's like, how do you lose to Penn State? How do you lose to Rutgers? Mike, what's up? Good morning. Where are we at? Let's see. Card Hobbyist, I can't hear the word ragtop without thinking of a certain Outcast song. Oh man, it's been a while since I've heard an Outcast song. Let's see. Mike is here. What's up? Go Hoosiers, says Steve. Why is there 14 teams in the Big 10 and only 10 in the Big 12? I know it's life's biggest mystery. Well, for the longest time, there were 11 teams in the Big 10. The Pac-12, it's not, well, it's the Pac-10. And then they actually changed the name to the Pac-12. And now there's probably 16 teams, 14 teams. It's life's biggest mystery. My wife is a Hoosier. She's a Wisconsin fan now, but my wife's an IU grad. Speaking, I've got to brag on my wife. My wife, they had their awards ceremony last night. She did not attend because she was working on deals all night, which is good. She was on the phone the whole night trying to put together some deals, which is probably why she got second in her company, which is pretty impressive, which is actually not pretty impressive. It's very impressive because it's basically her. And a lot of the other real estate teams have teams of 4, 5, 6, where my wife and my mother-in-law are a team of basically 1.25 or 1.5, because my mother-in-law spends most of her time in Florida, or getting her nails done and playing. Is it bridge? She plays some games. So my mother-in-law is very busy. My wife is very busy, but it's work related. But congrats to them. Second in their company, and fifth in the entire state. So I'll take a drink to that. So that's awesome. Congrats to my wife And my mother-in-law, which I can't give my mother-in-law too much crap because she was big help yesterday. We had to like triple tag team the electrical walkthrough yesterday because my wife had to leave early to show properties. And my mother-in-law has like a better, she can like, she's like 4'10", but she's a freaking bulldog, man. And she would be okay with me saying that. But she can like really put her foot down, and this is how it's gonna be. Usually it's good. Sometimes it's like, okay, let's calm down. Let's take a step back. So she kind of took over because I'm a deer in, speaking of lights, electrical, I'm a deer in headlights when it comes to that stuff. Like, can we go to the basement? I can tell you about the basement. The kitchen, I don't know. I don't know. So my mother-in-law, like after my wife left, it's just me and my mother-in-law and the electrician. And she's like looking at me, right? And I'm like, right. If you think it's right, I think it's right. There are only a couple things in the ups in the living portion that I'm like, no, it's got to be here, not there. And here's why. And then the basement, that was my domain. So I knew exactly what was going on. And so it worked out. But 4 freaking hours. So my mother-in-law, she's been in Florida for the last few months. So she hasn't been to the house since it's like been demolished and framed. So we basically are rebuilding the house. So the original powder room, which I didn't know what the hell a powder room was until like 5 years ago. We didn't have powder rooms where I grew up. We had bathrooms. We called them the little bathroom and the big bathroom. Literally, the 2 bathrooms in the house I grew up in, that's what we called the bathrooms. I'm like, oh no. My wife's like, no, that's a powder room. What the hell's a powder room? Powder room? Sounds bougie. Freaking, it's a little bathroom is what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. It's a little bathroom. So the little bathroom comes off the kitchen and kind of borders the like laundry room. So basically it was designed to have like the door to the kitchen. And my mother-in-law's like, why is the door there? That's a bathroom. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So don't yell at me. Don't look at me. I don't know. She's like, you can't have that there. Oh, that's ridiculous. Who put that there? I'm like, I don't know. Talk to Amy. She's in charge. I don't know. So I came home and I could tell my wife was defeated by her mom being home. And she's like, I'm like, did your mom talk to you about the powder room, aka the little bathroom, and the door opening to the kitchen? And then she gave me that sigh. Yes. And then I said, why did we have that there? I'm like, was there a reason? Like, it seems to me there would be a reason why the door would open up into the kitchen. Like maybe the other wall there, it's too small. So you didn't want to put a door there. I don't know. So she's like, well, she called Pam, Pam does something with the house. I think Pam's involved in stuff that I like, cabinets, I think. I don't know. So she's like, she called Pam, and then she called our general contractor, and they're going to flip it around. I'm like, and my wife's like, she took care of all of it. I'm like, she's like, are you good with that? I'm good with that. Makes sense to me. It's just a little bathroom. Just inventory what's happening. So 4 hours of an electric walkthrough with my mother-in-law, and I didn't drink a beer last night. If any time I should have had a beer, it was that. In fact, there was at one point we're walking through, it was upstairs in the upstairs guest bedroom. And she's like, well, I have a say because this is going to be my room someday. And I'm like, I'm going to need a 6-pack, like stat. I know it's 11 a.m. Don't be putting those words out there. Ooh. Just inventory. What's happening? Baseball card curmudgeon is here. What is up? Let's see. The card hobbyist says to Steve's comment about the conference numbers, the conferences didn't major in remedial math, right? Herman welcomes in another Georgia boy. Hey, is Nolan Smith, is he from Georgia? I read a lot about him. I actually watched some of the NFL combine yesterday. Nolan Smith, football player. Is he from Georgia? He is. He's a Bulldog, man. I want the Bears to draft him. He's probably going to go hot, like second round, like high second round, maybe even late first round. He had an awesome combine yesterday, Nolan Smith, and he's at a position the Bears need. What is he, an edge rusher? Stock up, stock. Oh, yeah. Here's NFL Network. Stock up, stock down. Nolan Smith displays electric athleticism. So I'm a big Nolan Smith fan now, and I'm hoping the Bears can somehow draft him. If they have to trade up for an earlier second round pick. Yeah, I like Nolan Smith. He's an edge. Yep. Smith was unable to finish his final season with the Bulldogs because of a pec injury, but he certainly showed out Thursday in Indianapolis. The 6'2" edge rusher is relatively slight at 238 pounds and has less than ideal arm length, but his blazing 4.3940, 41.5-inch vertical, and 10'8" broad jump opened some eyes. Smith did not participate in the field drills, but he had already done more than enough to help himself. That's from NFL.com. So, man, I watched a decent portion of it. It was on like all freaking day. I watched a little bit in the afternoon, and then I had it on last night. Brian Dean, what's happening? Paul Carl is here. Good morning. TD Sports Card, what's up? Cooter in the house. Harlan says it was the best. Up, where are we at? Skipped ahead. Let's see. Cooter says, what's Cooter say? Did Cooter say? No, Harlan says it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Landon says 3B. I've heard him mention Georgia a couple times, and I was curious. Hopefully we will bump into each other someday. Head on up to Lake Hartwell. Let's see. Just Inventory says Roger Clemens did a 2-hour interview on Patrick Bet-David's Valuetainment channel yesterday. The Rocket can talk, but he has some stories. Oh, interesting. I bet he does. I bet he has some good stories. Flying Illini says Penn State has been weird this year. They have some very streaky shooters that can get hot. Speaking of college basketball, tripping back over to college b-ball. Yesterday I was thinking, you know what? It's Thursday. It's March. Shouldn't there be some conference tournaments going on? And I guess there is. Arch Madness. And then Jenny mentioned, she's like, I'm surprised you haven't talked about March Madness. So we will do a March Madness bracket this year. Again, I think we did one last year. Who won it last year? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. So we'll do a bracket this year, bracket challenge. We'll link it up here in the chat when the brackets go live, which will be what's Selection Sunday. So I think Selection Sunday is, okay, I fly back from spring training on March 14th, which I believe is the first 4 games. So that is the Tuesday, 13th, 12th. So is that right? Yeah. So I think March 12th. Does that make sense? March 12th? So I'll have to do it from AZ. So we'll do it. We'll go on and talk about it. We'll do a bracket challenge. It'll be online, probably like CBS Sportsline. So we'll do a Hobby Evolution bracket challenge. And maybe a prize this year. I don't think we did a prize. We just did bragging rights. I think we'll do a prize. We'll do a prize this year. I'll figure something out. Maybe like a hobby box or something. Maybe like a Topps hobby box. Let's see. Jenny says, so what's the FedEx update? They come through with the supplies. Yes, they were delivered today's Wednesday. So I got them on Wednesday, and they actually came Wednesday morning. So my supplies came. I'm very happy. I got my top loaders, my card savers, my penny sleeves, so I'm set for a while. My other FedEx package has officially been deemed lost. That's the one, at least supplies, they're like a dime. Supplies are a dime a dozen. If they lost my supplies, I could just order more. I can't order more 1908 American Caramel 3 Fingers Brown cards or T207 Joe Tinkers. So those 6 cards that I had submitted, FedEx lost them. Screw you, FedEx. They are officially deemed lost. Now it's in the insurance phase, so I'll be getting my money back at some point in time. Uncle Rich says, I will remind you that Rutgers went to the Final Four in my lifetime, unlike Wisconsin, who has never made the Final Four. No, that is incorrect, Rich. Wisconsin has actually made the Final Four twice in like the last 8 years. In fact, they were in a national championship game just a couple years ago. And then they raised the banner for that season against the Western Illinois Leathernecks with a broadcaster, me, behind the microphone for Western Illinois. And the Leathernecks pulled off the big upset. That would have been, 2015? So I think the Badgers went to the Final Four in the Badgers have actually made the Final Four 3 times in the last 25 years, because I think they went in the late 90s or early 2000s. See, I'm sure it's been mentioned in the chat. People are screaming at me. Let's see. Where are we at? Merle says Wisconsin has made the Final Four 4 times. Yeah, and I think the first one was way back in like the 40s. First Final Four was, I think, 1938 for like overall Wisconsin Badger basketball. They went back-to-back Final Fours here recently, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It was actually around the same time. Actually, I think it was right before the Cubs won the World Series. Let's just go to Wikipedia. Google is like suppressing Wikipedia. Like Wikipedia used to be like the first thing that popped up when you Googled something. And now it's like, now I have to actually Google Wikipedia, Wisconsin Badgers. There we go. Doesn't even show up on the first page. Final Fours, Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin. 1, 2, 3, 4. So last time was in 2015. And then they also made it the year prior, 2014, and then 2000. So in this century, they've made in the first 23 years, they've made 3 Final Fours. And then their first Final Four was all the way back in 1941. They were runners up. Who'd they lose to? Duke, I think, in 2015. Grayson Allen. So there you go. Where are we at? Flying Illini, about to be 16 in the Big Ten. I know. God dang. You used to have conference footprints. Now it's like the footprint is the entire United States of America, California to New Jersey. Ken, what's up? Big Ten thinks they are so much better and smarter than everyone else. Well, they are. It's just a fact, Ken. Let's see. Steve says, lived in Nashville, Indiana most of my life. Now I live in Florida. Thank you, Jenny. Cooter says your wife doesn't have time for banquets. She has to earn, so we have someone to watch every morning. Right. She's selling houses. I'm selling 99-cent baseball cards. Eric, what's up? I usually don't buy baseball, but we'll be chasing the Brady card. That'll be huge. Tom Brady and Bowman draft this year. I'm looking forward to that. Rich says, no wonder Bo likes the mother-in-law. I bet she is related to the British Bulldog, right? Davy Boy Smith. Scottie Dubs, what's up? Card hobbyist, water closet. Our like button to usage percent is terrible, says Uncle Rich. We are sitting at less than 20%. Hit that like button. Make Uncle Rich happy. Kyle says having an awesome mother-in-law is a gift in life. I lucked out and pulled a 1 of 1 with mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is great. She's just, I think all mother-in-laws, it doesn't matter how great they are. You have to, like, it's limitations. And actually, I will say my mother-in-law is fantastic. She's not one of those that just comes over unannounced. In fact, I don't think she's ever come over unannounced. And she lives like a mile away. She always has a 6-pack of Spotted Cow in her refrigerator. So I have no complaints. It's just fun to talk about your mother-in-law. It's just fun. Speaking of mothers, my mom is in the state of Oregon right now. I mentioned that yesterday. She's going to be in Oregon. I'm going to be in Arizona, flip-flopping what happened 10 years ago. So my cousin, she's with my cousin. My cousin lives in Indiana. So my mom and my cousin met at Midway Airport the other day to fly out to Oregon to visit my aunt. So my cousin sends me a text message last night, and it's a selfie with my mom and my cousin, and they're at a bar. And my cousin says, "We're at the bar while Aunt Cindy is at her AA meeting." And that's the truth. Now, she hasn't had, I don't think my aunt's had a drop of alcohol in like 40 years. And she still goes to AA meetings, which I hate. More power. That's great. I just thought this is like irony. You're at the bar while Aunt Cindy's at her AA meeting. What are we going to do while Aunt Cindy's at her AA meeting? Well, we don't want to hang out, so we're going to go to the bar. Bit of irony in that. Let's see. There's Merle. Jenny says, I suppose it sounds more high class to say I store my baseball cards in the powder room. Isn't the powder room the place people keep their gunpowder? Mookie Chilson, powder room is realtor speak for toilet, no shower. There you go. It just, yeah, I guess it sounds a little nicer, a little cleaner. Hall of Fame card collector, what's up? Good morning. Cooter says, one bathroom in my house growing up. If you don't count the spot outside where me, my dad, and my brother peed when mom was taking her time getting ready in the morning. Hey, I was a backyard pisser. Nothing wrong with that. That's a perk to growing up in a small town. Backyard pissing. Merle says, we need a day where Bo's wife joins the chat. She actually said she's up for it at some point. So it certainly won't be in the next couple months because this is the spring market, as they say. So she is swamped. We're also I'm going to do next time I go back to my house, my house growing up back in Anawan. My mom, I'll get a few Michelob. She's a Michelob Ultra drinker. We'll get her some Michelob Ultras. And we'll do a little Q&A with mom. Let's see. Max says, Steve, it's Madison. People don't own guns down there. That is true. That is very true. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Jenny says, your mother-in-law could be living in your upstairs right now, and you probably wouldn't know because you're buried in pallets of baseball cards downstairs. Yes, there is truth in that as well. Good morning, Johnny Boy Cards in the house. We've got Andrew and Dean. Good morning. Nukes Cards in the house. What's happening? We've got Michael here. Landon says, Nolan Smith is a really smart guy, too, with great parents. His mom told him to stay his senior year to get his degree. Freak athlete with a good head. That's great. That is great. Herman says, thanks for the Insta follow, Landon. Awesome. The Georgians are hooking up. We love it. Landon says, I've only been collecting for a year. I need connections. Love it. That's awesome. Red Light 34, 53 watching and only 2 likes. We're up to 18 now. 18 likes, 58 watching. Hey, one of these days, so like a side goal, we're going to hit 100 live viewers at some point this year. That's a goal. We hit 85 last week or earlier this week, whenever it was. So the goal is 100 at some point. Christian says, bracket challenge. How about everyone that participates has to send something to the winner? Just flood their mailbox with random surprises. That would be fun, but I don't want to organize that. Let's just do hobby box, boom. Set it and forget it. The Ron Popeil method. Andrew says, Red Light 34, how do we get an email from you to buy a Couch People card holder? There you go. Red Light 34. Share that. Drop that email. Let's see. Or I can send baseball cards instead. That 70s card show in the house. What's up, John? Villanova has her the F4 a time or two. You know, I have no idea what John is trying to say. Villanova has her eye. The F4 a time or two. The Final Four. Okay. Let's try to break down John's sentence. The Final Four a time or two. I think he means Villanova has been there a time or two. Card hobbyist. Conferences are about media markets, not geography anymore. Yep, it's all about that TV money. And Jenny says, total sidebar. I assume with the flip of the calendar, you avoided jury duty. Nope. It's April. So my report date is actually a month from today, April 3rd. So jury duty. I'm gonna do Pauly Shore. Jury duty. Hopefully, hopefully not. I don't want to do jury duty. Hopefully, I'm supposed to call like the Friday before, and hopefully they say, "Oh, we're sorry, we don't need you." That would be awesome. That would be a treat. Clark, good morning. Andrew says, Uncle Rich, I hit the like button every day. Can I get a ComC discount or something? Mookie Chilson, friendly note, one of the A's in AA stands for anonymous. That's a good point. Now you know my aunts in AA. Brian says, Bo, I hope you don't mind. I took your idea to run a flash sale in my store this weekend at 30% off. Absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah, that's awesome. Flying Illini says, thank you for your vids on scanners. I was given a huge lot of old late 60s, 70s hockey, basketball, and football. The 70-30 saved me hours. Love it. And they are actually, I have had some issues scanning the 70s cards, and here's why. It's not a scanner issue, it's a card issue. Sometimes, especially if they've been in a box and they get like that, and it's not even a big curl, but a slight curl. It can be tricky because the scanner wants flat cards, and obviously we all want flat cards too. But sometimes if there's just even a subtle curl to a card, so I have had some issues on those, like if they've been in a box for 40 years. But yes, scanning 60s and 70s, the vintage stuff. Oh man, it's so super smooth. And if you tag it up with Card Dealer Pro like knows those sets pretty well, so it's a high return rate. Joe says winner should get 100 Cubs cards. Hey, now, let's not be giving away my Cubs cards. Paul Heath, what's happening? Good morning. Cardio and typing don't mix. Andrew says we live in our country, and Wad getting in the habit of being a backyard pisser and had to stop it when we did the deed at a huge soccer tournament. And sometimes, especially like little kids that are backyard pissers, I remember my one of my cousins, he was a backyard pisser. And one day, I think we were like the park or something, and he just like freaking dropped trow right in the middle of the park. It's like, whoa. You can do that in the backyard where you can't see the neighbors. You can't do it in a park where there's laws against that. So yeah, sometimes when you're teaching kids the backyard pissing method, make sure they know not in public, only in the backyard where maybe only one or two neighbors can see you. Let's see. Steve says you can do a Q&A from jury duty. Rich says for the ComC discount, give us cards at the Dallas Card Show and save the shipping costs. There you go. You currently also get a discount for Elite and Select. There you go. Flying Illini says, I had a couple that were slightly thinner than the others due to wear in the back wouldn't scan for. I've had that too. I had that this week. I had in one of the bulk boxes I bought, had a big old stack of 70s cards. And there were like 2 or 3 that wouldn't scan the back. And so I'm like, is it a blank back? And no, it's a regular back, but it must have been like slightly thinner, or for some reason, one was a 75 tops Bert Blyleven. I think is that the one where he's blowing a bubble? I think that might be. And I'm like, man, this will sell like fast. So I sent it through the second batch, and it still didn't scan the back. So I'm not sure what it must have been. It must have been what Flying Illini says. It must have been too thin, and then there were a couple other cards that. And it really screwed me up on one of the batches because I just I go through and just make sure like pretty quickly. And if there's an odd number, I know that one of the backs or fronts didn't get scanned. So I can go through and look. But then if there's like multiple that happens to, that's what happened. So then I had to go back and spend some time checking links just to make sure. But yeah, the 75 Blyleven I have for some reason wasn't scanning the back, and I tried it twice. So it is a card I think will sell pretty fast, so I'll just do the old iPhone photo. Rich says, great idea, but it needs to be 1,000 Cubs cards of our choice. Hey. No. Flying Illini, I used Card Dealer Pro, was amazing. I love it. Andrew says, well, that's insane, Uncle Rich. I live in a Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, 1,415 miles away from Dallas. Well, hey, there are things called airports, and they have things that are called airplanes, and they take you 1,400 miles in just a couple hours. Fascinating. Airplanes. Cooter says, taking outdoor peas saves water from flushing, so I am saving. You are being green. You are being green by being yellow and peeing in the backyard. Rich says, John is our resident 70s expert, so ask him about that issue. Merle says ComC should hire me, and I can accept cards at card shows up here in Minnesota. There you go. Flipping sports guy. I'm sure ComC will be at the Philly. Card Dealer Pro will be. Pee on your compost pile. It speeds up the process. There you go. Jenny wants to know where Merle is. I'd love to get Card Dealer Pro / collects. We need to get Fujitsu up to the Madison Card Show. I had a phone call yesterday with one of the local radio stations. They reached out wanting to kind of team up with the Madison Card Show. And I worked in radio. And when a radio sales guy wants to schedule a meeting, he wants your money. He doesn't want to team up. He just wants to find a way to get your money. He's a sales guy. I know how they work because I was one of them. So actually, the conversation was pretty good. And I have been looking for a more hyper-local way to advertise the Madison Card Show outside of Facebook advertising, because not everybody, it seems like everybody's on Facebook, but they're not. But a little more hyper-local, newspapers. Sorry if anybody's involved in that industry. Not going to do that. But radio is pretty good. And they have, and to be honest, I didn't even look up any information. I just just give me a call. You know how I hate being on the phone. Don't like phone calls. So did the phone call. And he's like, are you familiar with our radio stations? And I'm like, probably. What are they? I listen to the radio. I'm probably familiar. So he's like, oh, we do 104.1. I'm like, oh yeah, because that's like the top 40 station. Listen to it all the time. Taylor Swift, and Bieber and Timberlake, and whoever else is Doja Cat. I'm hip with new music. And then he's like 96.3 Star Country. I'm like, I listen to that one. Yep. If I'm in a country mood, I'll listen to 96.3. And then he's like, we have a sports talk station. I'm like, oh, what's that on the dial? He's like, AM 1070. I'm like, oh, I don't do the AM dial unless it's 670, the score out of Chicago. I didn't tell him that though. But I'm like, okay, that would be, that would probably be where I'd like to start, just to test things out, because I know the AM stations advertised rates are cheaper. 96.3 Star Country is going to be the most expensive, because that's country is the most expensive. At least it was 10 years ago. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. What are your ad rates? He told me they were actually, hope he doesn't hear this, but they're actually less than I was expecting. So we might do a little trade out. So he's going to send me over a proposal today. So we might do some Madison Card Show ads on the local sports talk station here in Madison. I was telling my wife, and she's like, are you going to voice the commercials? And I'm like, no. Because when I worked in radio and clients wanted to record their own commercials, it was annoying. Apologies. Some were great. Many were annoying. It's like, and she's like, yeah, but you actually did it. And I'm like, leave it to the professionals. And she goes, but you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I sell baseball cards out of my basement. I haven't worked in radio in 10 years. I am retired from broadcasting. YouTube videos don't count. So leave it to them. Because I don't want to do that. And do you know how many damn commercials I've read on the radio? Too damn many. In fact, some of mine are still running in various radio stations. I'll be driving through. I'm like, that kind of sounds like me. And then I hear that it's like, oh, it's the country station in Whitewater. Oh, that was in the same radio group I worked for 10 years ago. They're still using my whatever Woodman's or whoever the advertiser was. So that's so I'm like, no, I don't want to voice the commercial. So might do that. Where are we at? Andrew thinks airplanes are dangerous. I'll let you know how it goes. Tuesday, I'll let you know how dangerous it might be. Let's see. Mike says, the good old days, peeing outside, playing outside till it got dark, drinking from the hose, and we all survived. Yes, we did. Let's see. Jenny wants to know, are you going to the Minnesota Card Show in April at the Regacy? ComC will be at the show. April will be wild with shows in Minnesota. 9 of the 30 days, there's a show within an hour of Jenny. Holy moly. Merle says he'll be there. I would have set up if he was still able to do it at US Bank Stadium. Mookie says you get to read the ads. That's awesome. You have the chops. I don't want to read the ads. Tim Getch should come back to Minnesota for that show. So what else is going on? We're at the 40-minute mark. We're going to play Name That Player. We're going to go back to the 90s today. I don't think I had anything else to talk about. I will be doing shows this weekend, Hobby Evolution shows, because I will not be doing card shows. I'll be, blasting shipping. By the way, if you have made an order and shipping has been delayed, I apologize because I made a big F up. Somebody reached out and they're like, hey, I haven't gotten this. Don't want to be that guy, but just want to check in. And I'm like, huh? So I look and I had my order of shipping effed up. So there are a few orders that are overdue. So if that's one of you, I deeply apologize. And now I know to make sure my sorting is set to the appropriate level, because I got a couple days behind on certain orders because I ran out of supplies. So I was in desperate need. So I had changed my settings, my filters on the sorts on awaiting shipment. And then I forgot to change them back. And I apologize. So I think I took care of it. I got a few orders that were overdue last night out, and then this morning. So should be all caught up by mid-morning. What else? So I will go live tomorrow and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, and then I fly out to Mesa on Tuesday afternoon. And then I'll probably do some shows, some Hobby Evolution shows while I'm at spring training. It'll be a little later than the normal times because I don't even know what time they're on, because I don't think Arizona does daylight savings. So sometimes they're only an hour behind us. Sometimes they're 2 hours behind us. And I think daylight savings occurs while I'm out there. So I'm already going to be effed up on my times. What time is it in Phoenix? It's 6. So they're an hour behind. So they'll be an hour behind, like half of my trip, and I'll be 2 hours behind for the other half of my trip. Oh boy, the joys of daylight savings. Can we just pick a time? Like, I think we're technologically advanced enough to where we don't need to save daylight, right? So we have headlights now. We've had headlights for a long time. We don't need daylight savings anymore. So let's stick to one time so we're not effing confused half the year. Dan, what's happening? Just in time, we're going to play Name That Player. So name that player. Uncle Rich, I looked at the scoreboard as I'm holding the scoreboard. I need a bigger scoreboard. You know what? Oh, yes. Oh, we are going big time. Make sure there's nothing in here. We have a scoreboard. All right. Yes. Oh, this makes me excited. Oh, crap. This is not going to. So we are going to whiteboard. This just came to me. I need some Windex down here. Damn it. Damn it all to Hades. Talk amongst yourselves while I clean the whiteboard. So we're going to play Name That Player. We're going to go back to the 90s. We're going to do baseball. This will be way easier than Post-it notes, but I'm going to need to get some Windex or something. So where are we at? Henry says Oregon and daylight savings is a mess, dark anyways. John says farm people are the reason we have to futz with our clocks. That's the truth. But they have headlights in their tractors now. Merle says looking forward to the different backdrop for next week's shows. Dan says 7,000 miles is too far to get my answers in time. Use the top of the monster box to keep score. Jenny says, I disagree on daylight. I don't want 9 a.m. sunrises or 3 p.m. sunsets. But it's not that. It's going to be what? What's the earliest? I don't know. And it's only for a little bit of time. See, I think our earliest, so normal time. So I guess if we stick to, so right now we're in standard time, right? So in standard time, we stick to standard time. And we don't change the clock next week or whenever the hell it is. Because in standard time, the sun sets at about 5 o'clock at the earliest. I guess it depends on where you're at geographically. Jenny says in December, we get 8 a.m. sunrises after we fall back. So if we didn't fall back, we would have 9 a.m. sunrises. So that's why we stick to standard time. So no daylight savings. It's just standard time. So you'll still have your 8 a.m. sunrises. Let's see. Rich says we had a summer place in Maine when I was growing up and sunrise was at 4:30 a.m. Maybe we need more time zones. We'll just add time zones. That'll really screw. You think daylight savings is going to screw you up? Just wait till we add more time zones. Let's see. Jason, what's up? How do you handle someone with zero feedback wanting to buy items from your store? Does it make you nervous? No, it does not. I sell a lot of items to people with low feedback. If it's like a $500 card, then I would be nervous. If it's a $5 card, no, I have no qualms with that. Because we all start. You started with zero. I started with zero. Everybody started with. You have to start somewhere. It's at zero. I have no issues with it. Let's see. Andrew says use the coffee. It's got acid in it. I do have a little bit. Well, that might make a mess. I don't know if I want to do that. I thought about it though. Tell Jenny to move closer to the equator. There you go. Let's see. It was the easternmost part of the country, so you get used to weird hours. Mike says getting ready to grade a stack of cards for the first time ever. Early 90s hockey. These should get 10s, pack fresh pulled. Harlan says no switch to saving time, so we have daylight later in the day. Darkness is fine in the morning. Card Hobbyist says China has one time zone and it is just as wide as the U.S. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if we were all on the same time zone? That would be weird. It might be nice though. It's like, well, hey, it is what it is. Hey, if you don't like early sunrise or late sunrises, move here. It's just that easy, right? Just pack up and move. All right, let's play Name That Player. I'm going to grab a pack of cards. We're going to do 90s baseball. So what do I come up with? 80s. We did 97 Stadium Club. What's this? That's 87. 94 Fleer. 94 Fleer. That's what we're playing with today. 94 Fleer. I think these are going to be bricked. Every card, gold foil stamped, glossy UV coating on both sides, which means in 30 years, these are going to be bricked all to hell. 94 Fleer baseball. It's a whole new ball game. That's a little ironic because there wasn't much of a ball game going on in 1994. Look for one special limited edition insert card in every Fleer 94 baseball card pack. Limited edition inserts will appear in a range of odds from 1 in 2 packs to 1 in 200 packs. 3 limited edition Tim Salmon American League Rookie of the Year cards available by mail only. I did not realize that. So, hey, if you find those in like a bulk lot, those might sell because they're not as common. Send 10 Fleer 94 baseball wrappers, $1.50 U.S. check money order, name and address by 9/30/94 to Salmon Offer, P.O. Box 299, Churchill, Maryland 21690. Make check money order payable to Salmon Offer. 1 request per envelope while supplies last. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. Remember that. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. And then in big bold letters in parentheses, do not send directly to Fleer, which, by the way, was in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks to get your Tim Salmon cards. So here we go. 1994. Uncle Rich has the big lead. 42 points. Scottie Dubs. Scottie Dubs, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 points for Scottie Dubs. 10 points each for Flipping Sports Guy and Max. Card Hobbyist has 9 points. Zach and Porter has 9 points. Basement Card Collector and the Minneapolis Kid have 7 points each. Diego has 6. And then we have got a bunch of people with under 5. So let's see. 94 Fleer, we have. Oh, man, these are going to be tough to hide the name. I'm going to have to get creative. Do I have a note card in here? Nope, but I have baseball cards in here. Let's use Joey Bell. Hey, Joey, come help me out. Oh, these are packed in tight. 1990 tops, Joey Bell. So we've got our first player. It's a catcher. Who the hell is that guy? Not Joey Bell. Who's the catcher? 94 Fleer. Cooter says it. Name that player means it's time to pre-clean. This guy played for the Angels. Looks like he came up. It's not Brian Harper. It's not Brian Turang. His last name does start with a T. Not Sosha, not Pagnazzi. Last name starts with a T. He was born in Maine. Ron Tingley is correct. Christian with the point. Ron Tingley. Catcher for the California Angels. Todd, you're in Maine. He was born in Presque Isle, Maine. Ron Tingley. Tingley. Who got that point? Christian. Where's my pen? Damn it. Where did my pen go? Here is a pen. Not the pen I wanted. Christian with the point. Christian. Is that your... Oh, no. Christian has 3 now. Okay. Christian on the board with 3. Okay, this should be an easy one. Again, I've got to get creative on covering up because they've got him up in the corner. Houston Astros pitcher. There's in focus. Focus. Card Hobbyist. He's fast. Card Hobbyist. Doug Drabeck. Fastest fingers to Card Hobbyist, who now has double digits. 10 points for the Card Hobbyist. All right, now, hey, a former Cub. This is a little easier to cover up. Former Cub, a catcher. Where are my Georgia boys? Atlanta Braves. I think he played a couple years with the Braves. If this can focus. Scottie Dubs. Scottie Dubs with the correct answer. Damon Berryhill. Scottie Dubs. Running out of room. I definitely need that whiteboard. Okay, pitcher for the Pirates. Pitcher for the Pirates. I think he had some good years, this guy. I don't think they came with Pittsburgh, though. Let's see. I think he was drafted by the Twins. Yes, Scottie Dubs on a roll. He knows his 90s baseball. It's Denny Nagel. Denny Nagel, Scottie Dubs. Back-to-back points. Ooh, this one might be tough. This one might be tough. Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians. Looks like he came up with the Dodgers. Cole, no, not Cole, not Kike. It is Kirby. Flipping sports guy. Eddie Waitkus. It is Wayne Kirby who got that flipping sports guy with the Wayne Kirby. Where are we at? Flipping sports guy. 11 points. So he's pulled ahead of Card Hobbyist. Now we go to Baltimore. Oh, longtime pitcher. At this point in his career, he was with the Baltimore Orioles. This guy played a long time. I was going to say to like what age, but that would give it away too easy. Yes. And everybody knows this is Jamie Moyer, who was first. Scottie Dubs. Scottie Dubs is like a split second faster than Uncle Rich today. So Scottie Dubs. So we've got Uncle Rich at 42. 33 for Scottie Dubs. Pennsylvania. I almost said this guy's name. New York Yankees second baseman. New York Yankees second baseman. Who's this guy? And he actually came up with the Yankees. Uncle Rich didn't need much time here. Uncle Rich with the point. It is Pat Kelly. Uncle Rich on the board. 43 points for Uncle Rich. All right, we got some bricking going on with these next two cards. We go to Philly. Where's John? Philly. Oh, this guy, he was hyped up, man. This guy was super hyped up in the late 80s. There we go. Mookie Chilson is on the board, and I think that's his first point. It's Ricky Jordan. Yes. Super hyped in 88, 89. Mookie Chilson on the board. Jenny does bring up a good question. When do we start? I don't know. We don't play for prizes, so it's like we just keep going. But maybe we play to like 50, and when Uncle Rich hits 50 points, we just start from scratch. That is probably we should. Right now, we've got Uncle Rich with 43, Scottie Dubs with, I think, 33. And then third place is 11 points. So maybe we should. Okay. This guy, I think, pitched for a long time. At this point in time, he was with the Dodgers. He came up with the Toronto Blue Jays in 1982. Wow. Scottie Dubs. Got it. Jim Gott. Literally. Got it. Scottie Dubs. I didn't even mean that first reference. Got it for Jim Gott. All right. We go to ATL. Oh, man. No Cubs in this pack. Oh, there is a Cub. It was bricked. Stuck together. Got. You got. Speaking of hyped up players in the late 80s, this guy was one. And he had a pretty good career. Avery is correct. Scottie Dubs. Scottie Dubs. Steve Avery. Scottie Dubs with 30. Scottie Dubs making a run today. So we've got Rich, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 43 points for Uncle Rich. Scottie Dubs, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 for Scottie Dubs closing in. So if Scottie Dubs could run, we've got 4 cards left. Could be a 4-point game, 43 to 39. Cubbies. Now this one's not as hard to cover up the name. I don't think I would have got this because I wasn't really paying close attention to baseball in 94, and there wasn't much baseball to pay attention to in 94. So like 93 through like 97 were like the days of me not knowing what the hell was going on with Chicago Cubs baseball. Like when this guy was pitching. Is it going to focus? Cubs pitcher came up with the Rangers. That might give it away. Not Harkey, not Castillo. Not Brown, but, Scottie Dubs. Jose Guzman. I think the Rangers tip gave it away. Flipping Sports Guy says Bautista. That's who I would have thought. If I was playing this game, I would have been like, that's Jose Bautista. I would have had half that correct. It is Jose. It's Guzman and Scottie Dubs. 36 for Scottie Dubs. Pittsburgh Pirates. This one I would not get. This one I would not get. Let's see. He's a pitcher. Pirates. Made his debut in 1992. Looks like he began his professional career in 88 in the Pirates system. Not Tim Wakefield. Not Tabata. Not Tomlin. I don't think anybody's going to get this one. The Pirates called on this guy more than any other reliever in 1993. He led the bullpen with 8 victories and also had 2 saves. So now, there you go. You can run to Baseball Reference and look up 1993 stats on the Pirates. Not Garcia. It is Blas Minor. Flipping Sports Guy with the point. Flipping Sports Guy, 12 points. All right, now we got 2 left, and they're both Phillies. Where's Max at? Max, his favorite team is the Phillies. Him and John could be bosom buddies. Okay, where are we at? Phillies pitcher, just make sure. This guy also played for the Cubs. Phillies pitcher. In fact, I think he came over from the Cubs to Philly. Let's see. It's not Williams. Flipping Sports Guy got it. It is Danny Jackson. Danny Jackson. Flipping Sports Guy making a little run. Mitch Williams, great guess. 1 left. This, my friends, is going to be an easy one. So this is, you've got to be fast. It's a Philly, and he's well known. People are already throwing Philly names out. Nope, not Kruk. There it is, Mookie Chilson. Mookie Chilson, the first one to get Lenny Dykstra. Mookie with 2 points. All right. Lenny Dykstra. So, after another week of Name That Player, Uncle Rich maintains his lead, though it's getting closer and closer between Uncle Rich and Scottie Dubs. Uncle Rich with 43 points. Scottie Dubs with 36 points. We've got a new 3rd place in the Flipping Sports Guy with 13. And then double digits for the Card Hobbyist and Max, 10 points each. And then we go 9 points for Zach and Porter. 7 points for the Minneapolis Kid and the Basement Card Collector. 6 points for Diego and Herman. I don't think anybody has 5 points. Let's see. 4 points for Dan, Korean Cardboard. Let's see. 3 points for Brendan, Christian, John, that 70s Card Show, Matt Royals 417. They all have 3 points each. 2 points for Garvan, Mookie Chilson, who got both of his points this morning. Let's see. 2 points. Oh, that's it. And then we've got 1 point for Tom Gibson, 1 point for Ken Bean's Ball Card Blog, 1 point for Terry McDaniel, 1 point for Victor, and 1 point for Mark Marinello. Did I miss anybody? Let's see. Didn't miss anybody on that page. Didn't miss anybody. So there we go. And we're going to have a scoreboard next week. And then I think we will, maybe we'll play to 50 and then we'll start over. And then maybe we'll do it like a month at a time, maybe. Jenny brought up a great point. Card Hobbyist says you should do this with Archives or Platinum Anniversary since it has retired players as well. Yes, that's a great idea. My buddy Bronco, Baseball Card Illustrated, he does this game every Monday, and he'll go to card shows, and he has people do it for prizes. I did a 87 Tops a couple months ago at the Madison Card Show. He did Topps Archives, which I believe that episode's going to air on Monday, this upcoming Monday. And it was a battle between Michael and East Coast Tom. So that was fun. And yes, like Card Hobbyist says, it has retired and current. So it's a nice little mix. There were actually some archives. Let's do that. Shit, I'll be in Arizona next week. The next time we play Name That Player, which will be March 17th. Is that correct? Isn't that St. Patty's Day? March 17th. We'll do archives. In fact, I was at Walmart the other day. There were some archives blasters. So maybe I'll pick up a blaster of archives and we'll do the next Name That Player. We'll do 2022 Topps Archives. Okay, so where are we at? Flipping Sports Guy says, I should have just hit send before he showed the photo. Mookie used to platoon with Dykstra. It's Rich and Scottie, then the rest of the field. That is the way it's been going. Card Hobbyist says you should, we just talked about that, and Harlan. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Hobby Evolution will return tomorrow morning, probably in the 8 o'clock hour, depending on whenever I decide to wake up and get out of bed. That's how I roll on the weekends. So we'll see you then. Like, subscribe. eBay store is in the link. Check it out. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday, and we'll talk tomorrow.